Hello, welcome to Brown Dog Gadgets Live. I'm Amanda, the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Brown Dog Gadgets.
All right.
Behind the camera, I've got Pete.
I got a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we are going to be making a heart topper for a wearable bracelet. But before that, if you have not followed us on our social media platforms, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and YouTube. All of our templates and products are found at browndoggadgets.com. Reminder that all of our templates are on browndoggadgets.com free of charge. You can download them, print them off at your leisure. We would love for your participation while we're streaming, so if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to throw those in the chat. Otherwise, if you have questions afterwards, you can always email us at help@browndoggadgets.com. All right. I don't even have a demo of the final product yet, so we're just going to switch to that overhead camera and get started, Pete.
Hey, it worked.
So we're going to use felt today to make a heart topper. So this is one page of the, LED design pendant ebook topper.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the title is of it. It's a very long title.
I'll find out.
But it's an ebook and it has a ton of different designs for different toppers that you can make and then turn into a wearable project, a bracelet or whatever. So we're going to do the heart one. Side note, it's on page 13 if you find that ebook.
It's the LED Ready Felt Pendant Designs ebook.
Perfect.
It is
It's a
perfect.
beautiful title.
Good.
So the first thing you do is print off the template. You can print it on cardstock or on regular paper. That's up to you. You're just using it as a template. I usually print it off on cardstock, cut them out, and then trace them onto felt. What I do suggest, though, is if you are printing it on just regular printer paper, just kind of cut like a square around it and staple it, that paper, to the felt,
Staple,
and then
yeah.
just cut it all at once.
I usually tape stuff, but yeah, stapling is a great idea.
Yeah, I don't tape it.
I'm a tape
Just
person.
Staple it.
Yeah,
I like
big
the
fan of
sound
tape.
of this one. It just feels good. You know, staple.
I have the pliers style stapler if you ever want to use it.
I don't even know what you mean by that.
It's made to be held in your hand like pliers rather than a desktop one like you have there.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. I like mine.
I like mine.
So, cutting out the template, using that template to trace it on felt. Technically, you probably could use craft foam for this as well. And then cutting those out. And then, once you've cut those out, you just glue them together. Now, it's up to you on how you want to glue it. I usually use hot glue because I don't have to wait. And it seals it really nicely. The great thing, though, is that in the classroom, even though sometimes you don't want to use hot glue, you can use just regular Elmer's glue on felt. And as long as you give it the time to dry, it really does dry really nicely. So I just glued one layer on top of the other. So the first thing we're going to do to assemble this is we're going to take a safety pin and poke 2 holes through the felt. Now, I am going to highly suggest that you wiggle it around in there. You gotta really make sure you're making a hole for it because the LED lights cannot make it through if you don't give a significant path for it to go through. There we go. I think I did a good job. You can also use a push pin for that. Either way works. And I'm gonna take this LED. Technically, I wanna make sure I know which one is the positive leg and which one is the negative. The longer one is positive, and it's also, in this situation, a little bent. That's going to help me because when I lay them flat, I can't necessarily tell the difference between which one is longer and shorter. So even when I put it through to the other side, I'm probably gonna bend it a little bit more just to make sure I know exactly which one is which, because it's no fun setting up your whole bracelet and then realizing your LED is backwards.
It's no good.
All right, let's see if these holes are sufficient today. It is 2 layers of felt, and some of the projects, some of the felt toppers have like 3 layers to go through.
3 layers.
Yeah.
Ooh,
All right.
Hold on. I wanted to mention
Okay.
this tacky glue
Yeah.
is nice as well. If you don't want to use hot glue and don't want to use like Elmer's or school glue, this stuff is pretty nice for fabric and felt sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone told us about this and it works pretty well.
Yeah, I've used that in the classroom before. I
Okay.
just am obsessed with hot glue because it dries so fast.
It is great for that.
It really is.
It's good.
But if you only have a certain amount of time in the classroom anyway,
Yeah.
they can cut, trace, and glue in one day,
Yeah.
let it dry overnight, and then go ahead and assemble your circuit and
Yeah.
your bracelet the next day.
Totally.
All right, so I am going to flip over to the back, and I'm going to look at that longer LED leg, and I am going to put a little bit more of a bend in it. Like I said, once I lay them flat, I'm not going to be able to tell necessarily which one's the positive and which one is the negative. So I want to make sure I can tell when I'm actually assembling my bracelet. So what I did is I bent them out to the sides, but I didn't lay them completely flat, because what I want to do is take maker tape and I want to create like a tab around it. So I'm going to lay the maker tape underneath and then fold it over and go over the top of each LED leg, because I want to make sure it's making a really strong connection. If I just tape it down to the felt is too porous and sometimes it doesn't make a solid connection. So doing that sandwich method of tape, then LED leg, then tape on top, just ensures that it's going to work seamlessly.
The sandwich.
Yeah. Now, we are using nylon conductive tape for this. Nylon conductive tape is the far superior, much better looking cousin to copper foil tape. Copper foil tape is a pain in the classroom. If it rips, your circuit doesn't necessarily work. You can get copper foil cuts from it. It's not removable. It's just a pain. Nylon conductive tape is way better. You have to use a scissors to cut it. It doesn't rip on you. And it's Z-axis conductive, so you can overlap two pieces and it conducts through that. It's just great stuff. So we're going to use that for our project. If you've never used maker tape before, you can request this sample pack. There we go. This sampler pack it is a free sampler pack. It's got 5 meters of our maker tape in it. It already comes on one of these dispensers, which is really handy and easy way to keep it all contained. If you don't have these dispensers and you would like them, you can jump on over to browndoggadgets.com and we have the 3D printable files right on the website for you. If you've got a 3D printer, you can print off your own. We also have the 3D printable file for the 20-meter roll and the battery holder.
And more.
And more. There's a lot there. Pete makes a file for something and Josh is like, just why don't you put it on the website?
It's true.
That's pretty much how it works.
That's cool.
So this has 5 different projects just for you to kind of get to know maker tape as well as some of the things we do here at Brown Dog Gadgets. So that sampler pack is free on our browndoggadgets.com. And then if you do want to create what you're seeing today, you can do that with our Wearable Circuits Kit. So it comes with the LEDs, batteries, it comes with maker tape, and it comes with the great stuff I'm going to show you, which is conductive hook and loop. It is awesome stuff. So I'll show you that in a minute. All right, back to our topper. To get the maker tape off of the roll, and I did just put lotion on, so we'll see how this goes. But my hands were just looking so dry, I couldn't do it.
Winter.
I'm going to hold it about 1 centimeter away from the top, and I'm going to pull down a couple times with the pad of my finger. I think it was already started. I feel like I cheated. But it does work pretty well. You get the hang of it pretty quickly. So I'm going to take, I don't need to be perfect here, like 2 inches of tape. Doesn't need to be a ton. And I'm going to put it on the bottom of my LED leg and then wrap it over the top. So I've got that sandwich going. And I'm going to really press it down and make sure I've got a strong connection, because then once I'm attaching this to my felt bracelet, I can just make sure to tape onto this tab and then I'm good to go. I'll press that one down and then I'm going to do the same thing on the longer LED leg. And I like the fact that it's as like a tab for this kind of project. There are other projects where we'll lay down some tape right on the project and then the LED leg and then the tape on top. But that for this makes it really hard to get connecting to that LED leg. If I actually like taped it down to the topper, it would just make it a little awkward taping it to the project itself. This way, I have like a good connection point. All right. And now I'm not going to get confused either, because since I have this bend in my longer leg, I'll know exactly which side is longer and which is positive, and then which side is negative.
Right.
So my topper is complete. Now you have to decide what you're doing with it. Thank you. Thank you. We did also decide before this that the heart is not the only one that you could create for Valentine's Day, because I think you could create any of those toppers that are in that set, and you could come up with so many corny Valentine's jokes or lines to go with any of them.
Let's see, there's so
Yep.
many, right?
The fish, I said, you are officially my favorite.
Or owl, always love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's another good one. Could do that one.
I know.
Hey cupcake, I don't know. So,
You're right on target.
yeah.
I had so many good ones.
Is that a fox in there?
I believe so.
There you go. You can come up with
Foxy.
something for that.
You're a star.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
let's
a
be real.
star, right?
Yep.
There's penguin, all sorts of options. Okay.
So lots of our choices.
Right.
All right, so we are going to, I've got a strip of felt that I actually measured to my wrist.
It's a good idea.
I actually figured out a good length where there's a little bit of overlap and it's not too tight. I just cut a piece of felt, and what I'm going to do is attach my topper to this piece of felt using maker tape. Now, I'm gonna pull up the side of this, and you can also, to keep the topper down, you could put like a drop of hot glue down here just to make sure it stays in place. But the maker tape really does hold it in place perfectly fine. So I can see this is my longer LED leg. So I am going to take a piece of tape, hold that down, and wrap it around the back for the longer leg.
I noticed your it's very rectangular, your bracelet.
It is.
But I think we have some of those scissors here that cut like funky edges.
Ooh, I love your
Like
thinking.
you can always do something like that. And I've done some with just like some curvy, wavy edges on the top and bottom if you want to get away from just rectangular, something a little
Absolutely.
more crazy and fun.
So I used that path to tape down that tab for the long LED leg or the positive leg. And I'm going to take that path and I'm going to wrap it around the back, because my clasp or my conductive hook and loop is going to be on the back on this side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the left, but I'm going to have my battery right about here. So I'm not going to have quite as long of a path to start with. If you have any really corny lines for any of those toppers, please put them in the comments. I would love to hear one. You could make the sun and say, "You are my sunshine."
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's as corny as we could get, though. Does anyone have one for like the boombox?
Ooh.
It's my challenge to you. What is a corny line for the boombox? Not to you, Pete.
Dang it. I'll spend the rest of the time trying to think of one.
All right, so what I'm doing now is I took about 1 inch of maker tape and I turned it into a tape loop with the sticky side facing out, just like you would the back of a poster. And I'm going to put it on top of that path that leads to the negative LED leg. And I'm going to stick my battery right on top of that with the negative side facing down, so the negative goes to the negative. Just like that. And the great thing is that maker tape, with it being Z-axis conductive, that tape loop completes the circuit for us and holds the battery in place. So handy. And now I'm going to take a piece of tape from the top of the battery just to the end of the bracelet. I'm not going to wrap this one around the back because my conductive hook and loop is going to be on the front on this side. All right, so I've got most of the circuit connected, and honestly, if I actually wrap this around, you'll see that it does light up. But we want a way to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take 2 pieces of maker tape and make what we call like a pad. So it's a spot where it has a really good chance of hitting to make a good connection. And you can see I'm kind of winging it on the size. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna put one here. Nope, that's the wrong side. Pathway ends here. So I'm gonna put one there and one right next to it. Just a nice wide pad to connect. And now the reason I couldn't put it on here is because this is the side that we're gonna have to have connecting. So I'm gonna flip that over and do the same thing on the back. Because when you wear a bracelet, the top, it's not gonna connect like this. That would be ridiculous.
Yes.
All right. So right now, we've got those nice pads, so it will make a good connection pretty much anywhere in there, but we need a way to make it stay together. You could go the very cheap, very easy route of just doing a big loop of maker tape, and that would work. So you could take just a bigger loop than you would for underneath your battery. And you could put that right on the pad there. The lotion on my hands is not being helpful. And then this will stay in place for the most part. But it comes apart really easily.
There's a panda.
Wow.
There's a panda.
That's
okay.
That's like that could be special, Pete.
It is. Definitely.
But that really comes apart really easily. So what we have is we have conductive hook and loop. So
Conductive, you say?
Velcro. But it's conductive.
It looks like
So,
Velcro. Yeah.
It looks like Velcro. But it is conductive. So what we can do is take either one of the pieces and put it right on that pad. And I could leave it like that, but then I can still pull it off pretty easily. You could use a little bit of hot glue on either end, or you can just come in with a stapler if it wants to work for you. It doesn't want to work for me today. There we go. Let's try again. Maybe I do need your stapler, Pete.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I got one in there.
You got one?
Okay, clearly your stapler is going to work better than mine,
I think so.
and anyone that's there. So then it just holds it in place better. So if when students go to take it off, it doesn't, like they don't rip the tape apart.
You could sew it. Josh would never agree to that because of the time constraint and teaching sewing, but you could sew it. It's
You
an
could.
option.
I feel like that would be a whole nother lesson.
Yeah,
You might want to make sure they know how to sew first.
exactly.
Yeah. So then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to add a loop of tape with my conductive hook and loop right on top of it. And then I'm going to hope that my stapler actually wants to staple today. Let's see.
I can go get mine.
It did one on the other side. I don't know why it's being fussy now. There we go. There. So I don't have to be perfect with the staple because I've got that tape loop that's connecting the pad to the conductive hook and loop. And then when I connect, even very gently connect that conductive hook and loop, like even just the tiniest bit, it lights up, holds it in place, and then students can wear it and not have the fear of it falling off really easily. There it is. So then let's see if I can actually put it on myself. I think I can do it. There we go. Fashion.
Excellent.
Fancy. Thank you. Thank you. I feel fancy.
There's
Ooh,
a-
I'm over the moon for you. You got some
There's a
good ones,
moon.
Pete. I knew
Some
you
moon,
would.
too.
I knew you would.
Right.
There we
I
go.
got it.
So that is our heart topper put on a bracelet. But like we said, you could really make any of those toppers and turn them into some really corny lines for Valentine's Day. We've already
Corny.
given you some really solid ideas. But these are really fun. Students really love to be able to wear their projects. So this is definitely one of my favorites. If you want to create these, remember those templates are free on browndoggadgets.com, so you can find all of that there. Grab the Wearable Circuits Kit, and it already has everything that you need in here except for felt. It's got the maker tape, it has the LEDs as well as batteries, and the conductive hook and loop. That's that good stuff. I know. It's great.
Yeah.
So you can find that at browndoggadgets.com as well. If you have not followed us on social media, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, and YouTube. We've been doing a lot of different live streams, so you can see all of the old ones on YouTube under the Live tab. We've also been doing some short reels on all the different platforms, so please check those out, like those, comment, share them. We would love to hear from you.
It's true.
Also, if you have any questions after this, feel free to email us at help@browndoggadgets.com.
Right.
Today is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week?
Next week, we are going to be doing we have a Chinese New Year card. Chinese New Year is right around the corner. So we've got an LED card for that. We are going to be doing an 8-bit love vibrating cube. Super fun. It really took me back to the 8-bit game days. And then on Thursday, we are going to be doing our felt animals that are holding a little heart for
Sweet.
Valentine's Day. So lots of great crafting opportunities. We hope you'll join us then. Otherwise,
Get going.
I'm gone. Have a good night.
Okay. There we go.